Okay,
Hello,
we are live.
hello, and welcome to our first LinkedIn Live. I am Meena from Vinton by Native Video, and we have with us our co-founder Luca Benini. Hello, Luca. How are you today?
Hello, Mina. I'm very good, and hello everybody on following on LinkedIn live and following on YouTube live as well. Hello there.
Okay, so let's get into it. Let's start with the why. So, Luca, why are we here today?
Well, we are here because we tend to communicate a lot through our social channels, and we typically communicate either at a very high level, what is normally called thought leadership, that we try to bring our message out there, as well as sometimes we communicate too much in the weed detail, in the little, bits of pieces and information and features that are out there. So today, I think launches a new series of events where we want to focus on ourselves and be in a very relaxed environment and talk about who we
Mhm.
are and why we exist and what we do.
Okay, so before we get into it, are there any rules of engagement over here?
Yes, I think we discussed about them, and they are. So the first one is that this is a very informal event. We are doing this as a community, right? So inviting our
Yeah.
LinkedIn and YouTube communities to join. It's an open forum. There's no basic, kind of killer things that we want to say or do. It's just going with the flow. So
Mhm.
informal is very important. Actually, following from that, there's no slides allowed. So if you're here looking for slides, well, you'll be disappointed. There's no PowerPoint happening here. And I guess the third and important goes with that information is um, there's no stupid questions, no such thing as a stupid question. We are, as I said, very open to answering anything if there's
Mhm.
any curiosity.
Okay, so looks like we're gonna have a lot of fun today here. So let's start with the first and the most important question. Why
Yes.
Vinton? Why did you create it? What was the thought behind it? Why should everybody have it in their Salesforce?
Yes. So spotlight on Vinton, right? So we're talking about ourselves. Let's, as you quite rightly say, start with why.
Mm-hmm.
We well, my history and that of Nick, my co-founder, is that we've
Mm-hmm.
always been operating in leadership roles in the Salesforce ecosystem.
Mm-hmm.
In my career, especially as a commercial leader, I faced challenges relating to Salesforce and the CRM, and then they become business challenges. So the first
Mm-hmm.
reason why I believe we created Vinton is because CRM and Salesforce updates are time consuming and they tend to be difficult, inconsistent, or just non existent. So that's the first challenge that we want to take
Okay,
care of.
yeah.
The second challenge that we want to take care of is that because of the lack of data in Salesforce, lack of visibility,
Mm-hmm.
leadership, management teams, they struggle to support their team, to coach them, and to help them become better professionals and perform and deliver better output. So that's probably the second point about visibility that comes with inconsistent data. And then the third point becomes even more relevant right now because in the era of Agentforce,
Mm-hmm.
the data, the foundation level that will feed the agents going forward is set in data, and an empty or inconsistent CRM, an empty inconsistent Salesforce will create a struggle and will not set up Agentforce for success. So we exist for these three main reasons, really.
Yes, and that makes absolute sense actually. When you put it all together, it just makes a lot of sense. So why don't you show us what is Vinton, how does it work, how can I use it in my Salesforce? Maybe show us a bit of a demo because I know how good you are at showing demos. So I think it will be a sin if you don't do it right now over here.
Very good. Yes. Well, actually, look at that beautiful effect. The reason why you're here is actually because I think you bring your expertise as our success engineer and very
Mm-hmm.
technical. But we talked about Vinton and what it is, and we're now
Yeah.
directly in front of the screen, looking inside our demo environment in Salesforce. Vinton is a conversation intelligence solution. What it means is that it will join calls and conversations that are happening on the phone, on a video call like this one, in person. We'll record what's going on and we'll make sense of it. We'll transcribe it, we'll summarize, and we'll bring it in Salesforce, right? And that's why we are taking care of those issues, and we will see how we are addressing them. So as we land in Salesforce, the first point of contact for us to bring to life Vinton is actually contact. It could be an opportunity, it could be an account, it could be a lead, right? So what are we looking at here so that
before we get into this, can you tell me how did it land in the contact page? Like, how is it here?
How
did this happen?
I was ranting. Anyways, fair enough. Vinton doubles up as an agent, as they're called today, or a bot, if you want to call it in a different way, which means that as a bot can be invited to join meetings. A Zoom call or a Teams call or a Meet call can be performed in a normal way with an attendee that is actually called, your company note taker. Vinton technology will enable it to sit, quietly in a corner during the call, record everything, absorb the content of that conversation, and then transform it into Salesforce data. You asked about, how does it know where to distribute the information? Well, you see an example here by understanding who the attendees are in a call, by being able to see them, and by understanding how the data model in Salesforce works, you can actually, kind of make, 1 + 1 makes 2, and bring the information, in this case, associated with a client, a made-up client, actually your fake profile in our demo, which is Miss Mina Ashbach. So that's how, right? So the participants are the people that are relevant, and that is the main point of connection that will help Vinton understand where to put the data. Does that make sense?
Let's get into it. Yes, absolutely.
Perfect. So what am I looking at here? Tell me about this. So we are in a contact page.
Yes. So we've built a component that you can build. You can basically drop in any record page on Salesforce. So it could be a contact, user, lead, opportunity, any page. So when you drop it over here, what it would do, that it would sort of extract all the calls that linked with that specific contact. So basically we'd look at the email and would show a list of all the meetings that you've had with this person. So this is how it's displayed. In the top, we have a video. You can play this video back. So if you click on that really pretty play icon, yes, there we go. So it's probably in your ears right now. But yeah, so this is how you can play the video back. Then what we do is we have a back end. We extract the audio from the video. We generate the transcript from the audio, and then we send the transcript back to your Salesforce. So that's step number 1. We generate the transcript, which is the most important thing, because then we use this transcript to sort of generate all the other insights that we have over here. So we have a summary, then we have, which you can, by the way, copy or edit. Then we generate a follow-up email and next steps. So these are the next steps. And then you can also, by the way, create, turn these next steps into a task, a Salesforce task. So just click on there, and it would turn into a Salesforce task and would be assigned to your user. So this is how simple and easy it is. And then I know that you're probably wondering, but hey, this is not the summary that I need. I want my summary to be shorter, or I want my summary to be longer, or I want my summary to be this or that. So this is where the customizations come in. So we give you, as a user, the opportunity to customize the prompt, which is used to generate this summary. So by default, we have a standard prompt, which sort of fits all the use cases, a broad sort of sense of use cases that we have. But you can customize that prompt as per the needs of your organization. So you can customize it.
Yeah. So you're saying if I want it shorter, longer, I want it to extract specific details.
Yeah. Whatever you want.
Perfect. Perfect.
So, because when we design anything here, we make sure that we give the user the ability to sort of know that this is something that comes to me as a feature, but I can use it as per my needs. We don't want to sort of impose any functionality on the users. So that's at the heart of everything that we design over here.
We like to call that hyper customization, right? So it
Yes.
actually goes into other areas as well. I want to stop you
Mhm.
right there, because then if we, we looked at these amazing, features, and I think people are starting probably to understand a bit more about, Vinton, how it
Mhm.
works, right? So from a call or an in-person meeting or a phone call or a video call, we extract the recording, we process it, we transcribe it, we create, with little bit of insights that we drop in Salesforce.
Mhm.
This actually takes care of the first challenge that we mentioned earlier when we introduced why do we exist, right? So the first challenge is really that of streamlining and helping users get consistent and very quick, actually in this case, completely automated updates back into their Salesforce, right? So that's where, when you say why we exist, and where are the features that really help me? Well, these are the ones, because if I'm having a call, I'm having a meeting with someone, I want that information, the summary, the key relevant updates that come out of that conversation, to be turned into Salesforce data and added directly where they help me and they help the relevant people across my organization have a good,
Absolutely.
consistent update.
Yes.
What's this
So,
button here?
So I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but people don't like to type anymore in this generation. So you can click on that button. So note, if you want to take notes, you can just tell that, hey, this is what I want to do with this contact. I want to, so I had an
Okay.
introduction call,
So
blah,
you're
blah, blah, blah,
saying
blah. Yeah.
if I have an update that I want to drop into
Yes.
my Salesforce, I can talk to my Salesforce and say, "Hey, I just had a conversation with Mina, and we discussed about this new technology, amazing, fantastic, that helps me automate my updates in Salesforce, or makes it super easy for me to create consistent, very informative updates in my CRM." Right, and
Yes.
that's
So if you approve it, it would put the note and link the note to the contact, because I
fantastic.
think we're in a generation when we where we use our voice to set alarms. So you tell Google to set an alarm for you, you don't even go to the settings anymore. So why should we take notes? Why should we write
That
them up? We should also be
that's
able
right.
to record them. So that's,
Is this actually happening in front of us? So what's happening now? What you explained
yeah.
earlier, I guess, right? So a
Hmm.
bit of processing of the audio in this case. It's transcribed, then it's passed through a number of personalized, we said customized AI, and then in 30 seconds or less, we actually have the full transcript here, the
Hmm.
actual audio that
Audio.
is obviously we can play back, the summary, as you explained, this is a very straightforward, very short and straightforward summary of a very short follow-up. But then, hey
Hmm.
Mina, it was great to talk to you about our technology. So it's already drafted an email as well, and it's highlighted a couple of next steps as well, which sometimes is very interesting to see what is suggesting that we should do after a
Hmm.
conversation that relates to this update. Now, okay, so we've really, I think, delved into how do you make consistent and easy, super fast, automated updates in Salesforce. Um, does that actually apply to other related
Absolutely.
items as
So
well?
it also drills down to all the related. So if there's a contact, it has an opportunity, the same call and note would be linked to it as well. So you don't have to do manually anything. You just need to go and like make a sale. Nothing manual anymore. So you
And the
can
same
focus on your work.
in the
Yeah.
account as well, right? So you were saying that
Yes,
it's because
everywhere. Yes.
everything is connected. Okay.
Yes, so it would sort of drill down to all of the records, which can be contact, opportunity. If there's a lead linked with the contact, it would also sort of be mapped over there as well. But again, this is also something that you can customize to the extent that you want to customize it to. So, for instance, if you don't want to map it to an opportunity and you want to map it to just the account and contact, you can also do that. So, it's by default we map it everywhere, but we do give you an option to customize it through a very easy configuration that we have in the admin panel.
That's a
So
very
yeah,
much the flexibility of Salesforce. The other
yes,
thing that I wanted to share to show that I actually noticed is that the next steps are automatically
yes,
update with a very easy,
hmm,
straightforward, very basic, I would say, update that comes directly from creating on the fly new data. I mean, this is less
hmm,
meaningful now because it's out of a transcript of a test update, but it totally makes sense.
yeah,
Now, I wanted to switch before we take questions to the other area that is really relevant for our customers, which
hmm,
relates to digging deeper. We talked about streamlining, updating, easy, automated,
hmm,
consistent data. That actually then the next step is granting visibility both the users and their managers, the rest of the organization, to go in depth and really support and help people get better at engaging in conversations with customers, with partners, with all the stakeholders of an organization. So, what am I looking at
yes.
here?
So this is the overview tab. This is basically the Vinton tab, which has a few sub tabs. So the when you land onto the Vinton tab and you've selected a call, the overview tab is sort of designed to give you the overview of the whole call. So if you look, you have a video, you have the participants of the call, the title of the call, then you have meeting minutes, key topics that were mentioned, you can see the time spent, and now so let's say you've selected this call and you want to dig into one section of the call. So let's say if you want to see the time, so if you click on the time spent speaking graph, or you click on the tab, you would be
Yeah,
taken to the time, so it would give you more detail of the events that happened throughout the timeline of the call. So you can see that first we have the time spent speaking, who spoke for how much, uh, and then we have all interactions. So interactions from when somebody turned their camera on, when they just started sharing their screen. If somebody sends a message within the chat, it would also be recorded over here. And
yes,
we've made everything on the Vinton tab interactive, which means that if you click on any point, for instance, if you click on that icon that says someone's shared screen, so it would take you to that point in the video. So you also have a source of truth if you want to verify something, so you have that over here as well. And if you scroll down, you can see that I have the longest monologue, which is 1 minute 22 seconds. So if you're wondering, so
Well,
what did she talk about for one
sorry,
minute oh,
I
so you
clicked on
refresh the page.
wrong.
Sorry.
So we were on time. Sorry. um,
Yeah.
uh, what I wanted to take again, we're talking about very interesting features, and
Hmm.
bringing me back to the why we exist. This is great insight, right? So this is a
Yeah.
simulated intro and demo. So it's a sales call, effectively, actually, as the the summary here was indicating. And in this scenario, is it a good balance? 55, 57%, and 43% between the salesperson and these will be things that
Hmm.
really help the user individually, but they also help their manager, right? And equally, I think you were alluding earlier to the topics that are automatically
Yes.
extracted and associated with specific moments in the
Yes.
conversation. Again, are we touching the right topics? Are we,
Hmm.
these current challenges is interesting because it goes all the way back to the first part of the conversation where the salesperson here is really asking the client, the prospect, to highlight what are they facing as challenges now that something like a solution like this one or any
Hmm.
solution that we're selling would be helping to solve.
Yes. Then we have the detailed minutes of the call. So if you want to go step by step what happened, so these are the detailed minutes. If you click on any section, it would highlight where that happened in the call, so you can review it. Maybe you want to review what happened in the end. So if you're like the manager who wants to go over what I need to do for this call, you can just skip everything else and see what are the next steps, and prepare for your next call. And
Yeah.
then follow-up email is the same, next steps are the
Yeah, the
same.
follow-up we saw and the follow-up email.
Yes.
So transcript, this is the factual information, right? So, what
Yes.
we were looking at,
Yes.
there's a
Absolutely.
search bar here, right? So I can search
Hmm.
for, I don't know, Salesforce, just a random word. 12 times we we mentioned Salesforce, and we can jump directly to when it was mentioned, and then
Yes.
clicking on it will actually take us to that moment
To the
of
point.
the
Yes.
conversation of when
Exactly.
Luca was mentioning Salesforce, or going to the
Hmm.
next one, and when it was mentioned again, and so forth. That actually applies also across the entire library, right? So
Yes.
when was that?
Yes.
There was a mention of a competitor. When did people talk about, oh, we have Otter, oh, we have Fireflies, oh, we have Fathom in our world, right? So the Gong,
Yeah.
how do you compare to Teams AI, all of
Hmm.
that. So that's where we
Yeah.
can go and retrieve it. And then we have two very interesting tabs here. So what
Hmm.
are they?
So this is highlights. This is basically highlighting the key moments that you have in your call, because we're both very positive people. So highlight all of these are positive moments.
Yeah,
But
that was
so
our demo call, right?
it's
In real scenario, sometimes it's not all positive and 85
so
sentiment
yes.
score.
So
Yes.
this is all positive because we're always very positive here at this organization. But if there's any negative sentiment, any negative moment that was in the call, it would also have that in there. Also, interactive, click it. It would take you to that point in
Yeah,
the video, so
right,
you can.
right,
Yeah.
right, right. So I can,
Yes.
this is a
Yes.
moment where the demo effectively showcased the solution capabilities aligning
Yes.
with the client needs. Wow, perfect. All right, so that
Exactly.
I can jump to that moment when that
Hmm.
happened.
Then
And
this
then this
is
one?
coaching. Yes. So this is something that is, I think, especially because you asked for it so much, because you were always asking us something that can help you sort of be better every day. So this is basically a feature that tells you that, hey, you did great, but there are a few things that you can maybe work on and do even better the next time. So it would like sort of give you a key moment, what happened, any recommendation that this is what you should do, this is how, if you would do this, it would help you be better at this particular. And then also a Vinton score impact, which would tell you the impact it would have on your overall capabilities as a sales person. And
Yes,
what
yes,
it basically does is sort of extracts the uh, theme of the call, and then it applies the best practices that we have
yes.
in the market for that particular theme. So for this, it's a sales call, so it's extracted the theme, and then it's giving you sort of improvements based on
Yeah,
that particular
that's
domain of the call. So this
that's
is
probably the
basically that.
the
Yeah.
important point, right? Where this is obviously based on a methodology that
Yes.
in our generic approach makes reference to best practices, but in our clients' approach, they customize
Mhm.
it to their own methodology.
Yes.
They
Yes.
input the context within which their the specific calls will take place. Be that a
Mhm.
service call, a sales call, obviously, kind of a business development call, a discovery, all the way to a project management. And all of these different scenarios come with their own methodology, which can be fed upfront into Vinton, into the
Yes.
admin panel, and that will inform how this score is generated, and then which are the areas of improvement that are
Yes.
highlighted, right?
Again, you can click on it, it would take you to that point, and then you can also sort of realize that, hey, this is right. you know I can address a specific use case over here, and it would make my next call better. So it's basically just a
Yes,
tool for you to look into how you can be even better at what you do. So just
perfect.
basically helping you out with your
I'll
calls.
I'm conscious of the time, and I
Oh
want to
yes.
make sure that we take questions. So what am I? So the only other thing that I would probably add is that I
Mm-hmm.
guess our the people that are following, this is a very generic kind of overview, the first one that we
Mm-hmm.
do.
Yeah.
But I wanted to highlight that in this library you can see where we have, well, this is the audio note that we created earlier, right? Which is it has its own audio, the related the opportunity, and all the records that were related. This is super positive because I was making this update positive. Then we have video calls, and then we also have in-person meeting, and this is actually a recording of an in-person event. So I attended a panel last week with a
Mm-hmm.
few friends from the ecosystem here in London, and we discussed about AI and data. And I recorded with Vinton that conversation, and I was able to extract who the Chris was our host, so he spoke for 26% of the time, and we talked about AI application, we talked about AI for SMEs and customer
Mm-hmm.
expectation and pricing and security and so forth. And obviously there's the full audio recording, and everything else that we said is also created for in-person meetings as well.
Okay.
Now,
So
big overview, a lot. We talk too much. So what are the questions?
yeah.
Are there any questions?
Let me see if we have any questions. I don't think I see any questions over here right now.
So let's actually
Um,
invite questions, but I will ask you,
okay. Hmm.
which are, from your perspective, the
Hmm.
most frequently asked questions that you face as supporting with your technical
Hmm.
expertise our clients?
Yeah, I think the one question that we're always asked about is about data protection, how we protect the data of our customers. So we do not store any textual data with us. So the insights, summary, all of the things that you see over here, we do not store it with ourselves. We generate the transcript along with all the insights. We send it back to your Salesforce. It lives and breathes in your Salesforce, but we don't have it saved within our backend anywhere. So we delete it right after we transfer it to your Salesforce. And then video is stored within our AWS S3 bucket, which is obviously different for each, which has obviously a different it has a different, let's say, I'm trying to find the technical term for it that everybody can understand,
Folder
but it's yes, the sort of a folder. Yes, that would be an easy way to explain it. So it's a different folder for every
for each
subscriber,
client. Yeah.
for each client, so it's not mixed or anything. And we are sort of custodians of their data, but in case if you are an organization who are not comfortable with storing your videos with us, we also give you an option to store it in your own AWS bucket or in your own Azure storage. So that's something that we give. We are ISO 27001 compliant, so we follow all the security and data standards that we have for compliance. We are also looking into achieving a few other certifications this year. So we're there. We just have to start working on that as well.
Yeah.
You can see
that
that
is
on
a
screen.
very good point. I think we're very
Yeah.
committed to our
Yes,
compliance and security operations, and
absolutely.
we achieved the certification. Look at it. Yeah, do you want to know more?
This is
Yeah,
how.
let's
This is
grab a
how.
coffee.
Okay.
So
So
yes, so that's
I
one
think I'll
question.
ask the same question from you as well. So, as someone who's out there with customers and clients and prospects, what are the few questions that people ask you generally, and how do you
Well,
answer them?
I guess the most recurring question that we get, or the topic of conversation that we tend to talk more right now, is how does our value proposition, the Vinton value proposition, align with Agentforce, and where
Mhm.
Salesforce is taking the ecosystem into the next generation CRM and next generation agent interactions. And my reply is very simple. Typically, is we are tasking agents with handling conversations and engaging with customers on our behalf. So there's no better data that we can feed to an agent that needs to have conversations on our behalf with
Mhm.
customers than conversation data in the context of where it's happening, right? So, and that's
Mhm.
why bringing and automating conversations, transforming them into Salesforce data, and bringing them into Salesforce feeds and fuels the
Mhm.
learning and the understanding of your business, or our clients'
Yeah.
organizations, and supports Agentforce success, which otherwise, and that's where we started at the very beginning of this call,
Mhm.
most CRMs are full of gaps and inconsistent data, and that constitutes a major hurdle for the success of any AI, definitely for Agentforce as well.
Yeah. Yes, I think we're internally also looking into how we can integrate, how we can create different actions and within the agent force, and how we can use it. So we're like sort of experimenting with it, and we're
Well,
looking, and
exactly.
we see good results for call insights. So maybe that's something we'll work on really soon as well.
That's the
Yeah.
beauty of being native, right?
Yes.
So everything that we
Exactly.
build is
Hmm.
is Salesforce native, and therefore is automatically available for Agentforce, and we can build.
Yes.
And that's what we're, as you were mentioning,
Hmm.
we've already actually submitted our first iteration of an integrated Agentforce solution that leverages the information that we capture on a single individual call by call basis and
Hmm.
engagement, in audio notes and in person and video calls
Yeah.
and phone calls as well. We haven't talked about phone calls, but
Okay.
and then it makes it available as part of the learning of Agentforce to produce
Hmm. Yeah.
its results.
Okay, so we're almost on time. Actually, we're on time, 15 seconds left. So,
Okay.
um,
Well,
before, I don't know,
yes.
like, would it end if 30 minutes?
No, I
Okay.
think we can go on, but
Okay.
we will not want to go on. I will
Yes.
stop sharing my screen. I'll come back
Okay.
here.
So before we
Um,
go, just one
yes,
more minute before we leave.
yes.
What's coming up next? What should we be expecting? What is your vision for the year? What's coming up short term, long term? Just like in 1 to 2 minutes, so everybody
Oh
knows
no,
what's
1 to 2 minutes we don't have. So I'll go directly
up.
into, well, I think the most exciting thing, apart from the integration with Agentforce and what we will bring out in that in relation to that integrated solution,
Mhm.
is capturing more conversations, predominantly with the integration of phone calls. So telephony system, digital telephony system, automatically added and consistently bringing and
Yeah.
feeding information back into Salesforce. The multi-layer templates with
Mhm.
multi-layer prompting, I think, are also very exciting. That enable
Yes.
our customers to do more customizations as well, and more personalization of how they can define the exact context of each individual interactions that they expect to have through the different channels, and then inform Vinton on what they expect as an output. That's also,
Mhm.
quite exciting. What else is kind of, well, all the customization that passes also by bringing your own AI engine, so
Mhm.
we can plug,
Yeah.
enabling our customers to bring their fine-tuned LLM and plug that to generate additional insights. I think that's exciting as well. And all of these things are
Yes.
in the making, or just about to be released. So
Okay.
maybe they
Great.
will be in our next LinkedIn Live. So in a
Yes.
month's time, we will have some
So
more
yeah,
features.
yes, absolutely. So I think we're on time. So thank you so much, Luca, for joining this, and thank you for
Well, thank you,
so much
Mina.
for everybody who jumped in to see what we're talking about. This was the first of our many sessions that would come in the future. We would be talking about Vinton, the features that we're adding to the product, any
Yes,
customizations that you can do with the product. So all that fun stuff in our upcoming sessions. So this was the first session.
yes.
It was
And I think this actually will live on in LinkedIn and YouTube. So if you're
yes,
watching
yes,
this and it's not live, well, thank you very much for watching and enduring it all the way to this moment.
yes.
Leave your comments below, your questions as well. We'll pick them up and we'll answer them. Yes,
Also,
Mina.
also, if you want a demo, Luca at Vinton.ai with a V. And if you want to skip the demo because you don't need it anymore after watching this video, Mina at Vinton.ai to get started with the setup. So these are the email addresses that you need to send an email to,
I'll
or
I'll
we will
double
add that
that
in the yes.
with start your own free trial. There's a whole
Oh yeah,
thing that you can try Vinton for free. Just go to
yes.
free.vinton.ai, and you'll be
Mhm.
able to, no installation needed. Just invite a standard version of Vinton. It will not be the whole customized experience, but
Mhm.
it will give you a good sense of how Vinton can work in your next call. So invite free Vinton by kind of following the instruction at free.vinton.ai. And with that, thank you,
Thank you
Mina.
so much. Thank you. Bye.